Which weight divisions in the UFC are the best? Well, in this video, guys, we will be working that out. I've got all the weight divisions champions all around the screen. I'm going to drag and drop them on the tier list where I think they belong. So obviously S tier is the best division, the best divisions, and F tier is the worst divisions. Okay, so I'm Tiz MMA. Subscribe if you're new, and let's get right into this video. So first of all, we are going to start off with flyweight. I'm going to put flyweight in C tier, okay? Because the criteria for this tier list is going to be talent, how entertaining, and how stacked is the division, okay? And as far as talent goes, this division is talented, okay? This division has got good talent. There's a lot of good flyweights. Their level of skill is very high. Anyone in the top 15 is a very skilled fighter, so I'll give them credit for that, okay? So a flyweight fight, it will always display high levels of skill. Even a lot of the unranked guys are still really talented. It's just a lot of these small guys are really good at fighting, so they train well, they train hard. So that's where, contender wise, in the top 5 there's a lot of good contenders, and even in fact in the top 10 there's a lot of good contenders. You got new ones like Manuel Cap, Amir Albazi. I mean, I know he didn't really win that fight against Kai Kara France. You've got him as well. So you've got a lot of good people in the weight class. But the problem is just none of these guys are big names. That's the only problem. It's almost like however good they are, it doesn't matter because they just can't make it interesting. And, people thought Brandon Moreno was going to be one of the UFC's kind of stars of the next few years, but it just turned out that everyone's kind of forgot about him and he's kind of being sidelined. He's the co-main event title shot. I think the UFC were kind of hoping that he would be the new firstborn Mexican champion and he'd be a really big draw, but it just hasn't happened. He kind of faded into irrelevancy as a champion. He's just one of those champions, you know what I mean? He definitely isn't one of the poster boys of the UFC anymore. And I think it's because a lot of people kind of find him annoying now, stuff like that. His friendly antics is just like, we've all seen the friendly guys in the UFC before. And is it good fights? Yes, but they're just missing those stars that some of the other divisions have. So that's where they're in C tier. But they're quality fights, and they've got a lot of good fighters in the division. Moving on, featherweight. I'm putting featherweight in A. Okay. Featherweight's champion is Alexander Volkanovski. He's very talented. He's one of the greatest featherweights of all time, if not the greatest. As far as contenders go, they're stacked, okay? Holloway. If Volk didn't exist, Holloway is basically is the best featherweight, arguably with Aldo as well. So that's a big contender itself. You've got new ones like Arnold Allen. I know he just lost to Holloway, but he's still good. You've got a few new ones like Giga Chikadze. He's more making his thing on the scene. You've got more of the vets like Calvin Kattar. You've got Josh Emmett. I know he's old now. He won't be around for much longer. You've got Ilia Topuria. He's really talented. I think he might be champion in a few years. So contender-wise, very stacked. Entertaining, yes, they are entertaining. There's quite a few finishes at featherweight. All the top guys, not many of them are like snooze fest, wet blanket wrestlers, and a lot of them are just down to scrap, so they'll just be in the pocket trading. So I do respect that. And they are often really high strike fights. You know what I mean? They don't really sit around. Featherweight's just really high volume. I've just noticed that as a division, so that's really entertaining. And they have a star. They have Holloway, he's a big star, and they have Volk as well. And Ilia Topuria, he's probably one for the European market, I'm sure. I'm sure a lot of Spanish people and Georgians will like him as well. So there's that, and obviously there's a lot of knockouts. There's more knockouts at featherweight than flyweight, I'd definitely say, because just of the size of you, it's easier to knock people out. So that's why they're there, entertaining, good roster, and just high quality fights all around. Moving on. Lightweight's an A tier. I don't care. Lightweights are just really good, and I feel like when you kind of think of the UFC, you think of two divisions. You think of heavyweights and you think of lightweights, or that could just be me. But obviously you've got the champion Islam Makhachev. He's Khabib's protege, and we know how good Islam is. He's number 2 pound for pound, I think, right now. He might be tied with Volk, but these two guys, they fought. That was an amazing fight. Islam's very high level. And there's a lot of guys in lightweight that could be champions. But the only problem with lightweight that brings it away from being an S tier division is the fact that they have this problem where the top 5 guys have been around for a long time, right? So you've got Poirier, you've got Gaethje, and you've got Chandler, right? They're older and they kind of like fighting each other, because the idea is that if they win a fight convincingly, they basically get a title shot more or less, or they, bare minimum, they have to win 2 fights and they're already looking at a title shot. So it leads to them not wanting to fight the younger guys who are lower down in the division. And what it causes a bit of a segregation in the weight class. After number 5, there's a bit of a disconnect, and those people struggle to get matchups to get themselves up the rankings. So I think there's a lot of guys in the below the top 5 who would beat a lot of the top 5. So I think Armin Sarukian, I think he beats both Poirier and Chandler, and he probably beats Gaethje as well. I think he beats all of them, but he just can't seem to get a matchup with them. Instead, obviously, he lost the fight to Gamrot. That probably would have gave him a top fight, but it is what it is. And I just think there's a lot of young talents in lightweight that would beat these top 5, so it just kind of causes some legitimacy issues in that division. But as far as stars go, home to Conor McGregor, supposedly sometimes. Obviously Khabib before. So super entertaining fights. There's a lot of finishes at lightweight. High skill, very high skill division. But like I said, the only thing that's limiting it from being an S tier division is the fact that there's that log jam of talent getting blocked from getting big matchups with the top 5 for title shots and stuff like that. Moving on, heavyweight. Now, if this was heavyweight 2-3 years ago, probably be D, okay, or maybe C. But nowadays, heavyweight is B, okay, and the reason being is because the top 10 guys in heavyweight now, most of them are very young, alright, except a few. You've still got some of the old guys like Stipe, and they're all really good. This new young generation of heavyweights, they're much more talented. They're just better all around. They're much more well-rounded. A lot of them can grapple. Heavyweights before just couldn't seem to be able to grapple. I guess that's partly why Brock Lesnar was so successful, because a lot of people he fought just couldn't grapple. But except Frank Mir, of course. And that's why I think heavyweight's improving. It's getting better, and obviously you have iconic moments that you can't really get at any other weight class at heavyweight. So you've got one punch knockouts all the time. No matter even if they're in top 15, there's always finishes at heavyweight. Most fights end in finish, to be honest. The only issue is, if it's unranked guys, they tend to gas really easily, and it basically means that if there isn't a first round finish, you're getting the most boring 15-minute 3-round decision of your life, and it's just going to be so boring to watch, and nothing happens in the last 2 rounds because they're both exhausted after the first one. But in the top 15, that isn't so much of an issue because some of them are better conditioning. You've got big stars, you've got Gan, obviously John Jones is a champion, he's really, really talented, I don't need to tell you that. And you've got a lot of up and comers. You've got Tom Aspinall, he could be champ. You've got Jelton Almeida, he could be champ. You've got Sergey Pavlovich, he probably will be champ soon. So like I said, and obviously you've got, the legend Stipe Miocic. So like I said, lots of talent, lots of young talent coming in. And once Jones retires, I presume he's going to retire in his final fight. His next fight will be his final fight, I think. And obviously I hope Stipe doesn't get that belt somehow and not retire, but I think he will. And I think he won't get the belt and will retire. And then we've just got this new generation of young heavyweights scrapping it out. And obviously, if that goes well, I think this is an A-tier division soon, guys, because it's looking really up for heavyweight, especially considering what it used to be like. Moving on, we have bantamweight, S-tier. Right, this shouldn't be a surprise to you. Bantamweight is the division in the UFC. It's so high level. Everyone is just all around good at everything, really. In bantamweight, if you're not all around good at everything, you'll be exposed. If you've got bad cardio, you won't make it through the top 10. There seems to be like a level at bantamweight where you can't get past, you just get exposed. It's like the exposed rankings in bantamweight, because a lot of other divisions, you can fluke your way through if you're really good at one thing and not good at anything else. So say you're a really good wrestler who has no striking in like middleweight or welterweight, you can kind of just beat everyone and then get a title shot and lose to the champion who's well-rounded. But in bantamweight, if you fight, say you're just a wrestler, you have no hands, no cardio, right? You'll have eventually you'll get a top 10 or top 15 matchup. Some guy, he's good at everything, he'll stuff your takedown and then he'll just piece you up on the feet, even if he's a wrestler as well. So that's why bantamweight is so good. They're just generally good at everything. The champion's talented. A lot of people don't like him, which is understandable, but you can't deny he's talented. And basically, everyone in the top 5 could be a champion. You know, they're all championship quality, but they just lost to the champ. Obviously, you got Cejudo in there now. You got Sandhagen. He'd be a champion if he was in another weight class, probably. You got Marlon Vera as well. He could arguably, you know, he is kind of championship quality. I wouldn't say he's as good as Sandhagen and Cejudo, but he's good. Sean O'Malley as well. Obviously, Peter Yan, the former champion, he's very, very skilled. Marab, you know, is he boring? Yes, but is he really, really good at what he does? Yes, he wins fights really well. So yeah, obviously, like I said, very stacked division. There's a lot of stars there. You know, you got Sean O'Malley coming up. Peter Yan, he's pretty popular, I'd say. And yeah, amazing division. Quality fights, always good to watch. And like I said, they just don't have any flukes in that division, so it's just nice to see actual skill in a sport. Moving on, light heavyweight. I'm not a big fan of light heavyweight, and a lot of people aren't going to like me for that, but I just don't like the division. I just feel like they may be missing a weight class somewhere, because I just feel like light heavyweight should just be called not heavyweight but not middleweight, because a lot of these guys are just middleweights that don't cut. And it's a bit of a shame, because some of these guys are actual light heavyweights, you know what I mean? Like some of these guys are a bit undersized. But Jamal Hill, right? Here's the thing with what I was saying about bantamweight. You get exposed if you're not good at everything, right? Jamal Hill is not good at everything. Has he got good striking? Yeah, he does. Has he got good grappling? Not really, no. Has he got good cardio? It's okay. Has he got a good chin? It's decent. But the point is, he's not an all-rounder guy. He's good. He's a one-trick pony. He's good at striking, okay? And his striking isn't even amazing. Like, he doesn't really incorporate kicks or anything. He's primarily a boxer. Anyway, the point is, considering he's the champion, and it looks like he might actually stay champion for a fair while, because, I mean, he could probably be Yuri. It just shows that the weight class maybe is lacking a little bit of skill. And I'm presuming a lot of light heavyweights will probably move up to heavyweight soon, because some of the matchups are easy. And I know a lot of people won't like that, because they'll say, oh, well, they're better than heavyweights. And that's true, they are. But I just feel like a lot of them are middleweights at this point, guys, who don't want to cut. But yeah, anyway, that's them. Stars, not really. You know, Jan Blachowicz is kind of a star, but he's on his way out. Dominic Reyes was a star, then he got knocked out 3 times in a row, brutally. Career over. Jamal Hill, he isn't that big of a star. There's a few good guys in the division. Like, you know, you got Johnny Walker, who's really talented, but he's got a chin issue, so he just can't stay champion for long, because no matter how good he fights, he'll eventually get caught and slept. So yeah, that's why I'm putting light heavyweight there. Some guys aren't going to like that, but it's just my opinion. So moving on, welterweight, C tier. Actually, we're putting it in the top of B tier, I mean, not C tier, and we're putting heavyweight below it. So welterweight's good, but there's a lot of up and comers in welterweight incoming. I think in like 1 or 2 years, welterweight will be a bit better once we've got all the old deadwood out. Again, if Usman wasn't there would have been a big fluctuation in champions, I think. But he kind of held the division down for a good 3 years. So now we've got Leon. Leon's just an all-round good guy. That's why he wins his fights. That's why he beat Usman, because he's just way more technical on the feet at him. And yeah, good champion, pretty high skill division. True welterweights excel. If you look at this, a lot of former lightweights move up, but and they were having success. Like Gilbert Burns was doing really well, but he's struggling a bit more now. Obviously, I don't think he beat Leon Edwards, but Leon Edwards is a true welterweight. If you're talented and you're a true welterweight, you're gonna win matchups. And I enjoy the fights. For the most part, they're good. You know, these lads have got power. They're big guys, so they throw hard, and pretty good all around. We've got a few good grapplers, got a few good wrestlers. We've got a lot of people, got a lot of stars in welterweight. Usman's a big draw in America. Kobe Covington's really popular. They've got up and comers like Ian Gary and Shavkat Rakhmonov. He's got a lot of hype behind him. And oh yeah, and I forgot to mention in bantamweight, you've got Umar Nurmagomedov as well coming through the rankings. He's got a lot of hype. But yeah, so welterweight, very, very promising. Young talents coming through. Mike Mallow as well from like UFC 289 Canada card. I think he'll be getting ranked soon after one more win. And yeah, lots of talent coming in. I think this division's going to be better in a year or two. Like I said, once all the older guys have retired, Gilbert Burns goes, Kobe's going to be on his way out within 2 years probably. Usman as well. And the future's looking bright. Keep at it, welterweight. Moving on. Middleweight. F. Are there a lot of good people in middleweight? Kinda. There seems to be a thing in middleweight, right? You're either really good or really bang average, okay? So if we're talking really good, Adesanya, Pereira, Whitaker, okay? Those are the only three people in welterweight who, for the foreseeable future, in middleweight, sorry, who will ever be champions, okay? The rest of the division, as far as I'm concerned, will never ever get the belt. And good reason, because they're not talented, okay? They're not good. It's a fluke division. You know how I was saying earlier, you can fluke your way through divisions. There's living proof. It's called, I'll tell you what it's called. It's called Dricus du Plessis, because let me tell you, no skill, but he's athletic. And he just flukes his way through the division, and it's true. Because middleweight, you can do that. They're not very talented. And in middleweight, it more feels like an athleticism contest until you get a title shot. Because you can beat everyone if you're basically got slightly better cardio or you're stronger and more powerful than them. And that shouldn't be, the core basics of winning a fight, but it is a middleweight. There's not much talent here. I mean, you've got Vittori, but, he isn't championship caliber. He's top 5 caliber at most, He's a ranked opponent, You've got Costa. He isn't championship material, you know what I mean? So, but these guys just aren't good enough. But then you've got Whitaker, Pereira, Adesanya, all championship material, and they all have been champion. And I think the belt's just going to alternate. Well, obviously Pereira's not there anymore, but the only other person I can see getting the belt is Whitaker. And yeah, that's my opinions on middleweight. If you're athletic, you're just going to fluke your way through the division until you eventually get a title elimination bout against Robert Whitaker, and he'll beat you. And that's literally the story of middleweight, and it will be for the foreseeable future. So yeah, but anyway, that's every division ranked. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Leave a like if you did, and subscribe so you don't miss any future content. We're going to be uploading loads of content for the foreseeable future, so don't miss any of that. Leave a comment on what you think about this tier list, and I'll see you guys in the next